This week brings unexpected changes and a focus on our responsibilities and sense of discipline. Welcome back to the Hella Fluid Collective podcast. Welcome back. My name is Sarah, and I love astrology, and I love helping entrepreneurs and creators use astrology to tap into their creative workflow. Today, we are going to be looking at the astrology for the week of November 11th through November 17th. As always, all of the transits are listed in the description below, so don't worry about taking notes on the dates. If you want a written version of all of these interpretations, make sure you head over to my Instagram or my TikTok, where I make cute little graphics so you can get a summary of each transit. I post that to my feed on Sundays, and then I post each day to my story to keep you on top of what's happening. Make sure you subscribe to this channel so that you can stay on top of what's happening every single week. And I also post a month ahead forecast as well, so you can plan a little bit more ahead. And as we're coming to the end of the year, now would be a really good time to book a year ahead reading over on my website, which is linked in the show notes below. I'm offering 20% off if you use the code NOVEM2024 and book it by November 30th. So go ahead and book that now so that you can see what 2025 has in store for you. You can plan around your general themes, what houses get lit up, big transits that are happening for you, especially those outer planet transits. You can get a heads up on the flavors and the themes and the lessons that the year is asking you to look into. It's going to be a rough few years for this country, so might as well lean into the things that you can do on a personal level and focus on your personal growth so that we can come together as a collective the way we're freaking supposed to. All right, now let's get into the astrology for this week. So the first transit that we have is on Monday, November 11th, and that's Venus moving into the sign of Capricorn. Venus in Capricorn isn't necessarily romantic, but it is more about serious commitments or focusing on relationships that are for the long term. So if there's someone you've kind of been dating or working on a friendship with and you're ready to take it to the next step, this is kind of the energy that will solidify that. Or if it's the opposite and it's not really aligned with your long-term goals or your values, then this is going to be the time to set some boundaries or maybe break up or not spend so much time with that person. This also speaks to your relationship with yourself and your self-worth. So kind of building some good foundational groundwork towards really being kind to yourself and really valuing yourself. This also gives us a more practical approach to our finances. So for business owners, it's a beautiful time to focus on readjusting your finances if you need to do that, working on your finances, getting things in order for taxes as we're coming to the end of the year, anything like that, kind of more serious, more things that require more discipline and more sense of responsibility. This Venus and Capricorn transit is going to be a good time for that. And Venus will be here until December 7th, so we have a few weeks to get things in order. Next up is Tuesday, November 12th, and that's Mercury square Saturn. This is a not so wonderful transit. It is a transit that has us feeling not good enough, kind of going on these mindsets that are a bit restrictive. We're not necessarily open and optimistic. We're kind of the opposite, a little pessimistic in the ways that we're thinking and processing things. It would be really easy to get in a depression cycle on this day. So if you're prone to that, do what you need to stay a bit more positive and not go down those spirals. Speaking from experience, I did. It's also not really the best time to be having conversations with other people that require compassion and understanding and openness. So yes, a lot has happened with the elections. If you think it's a good idea to try and convince that person that who they voted for was a bad idea, it's probably not going to be heard on or around this day. So I would just save your energy, focus on processing things in your own space. Those time for those conversations will come later. There's lots of space for misunderstanding with this energy. As for business owners, this is not really the day to be launching something new, whether it's a new program, a new project, a new product. There's just a lot of space for misunderstanding and for hardships and setbacks. If you are launching and there's no turning back at this point, then put a lot of energy into triple checking your communications. Moving on to Friday, November 15th, we have two things happening, and the first one is Saturn stationing direct. Saturn retrogrades every year for about 4.5 months. So this is its time to move forward, and it will be moving forward until about summer, mid-July of 2024. And so this isn't that much of a big deal, but when it's in retrograde, we're kind of looking inward about our sense of responsibility, our sense of discipline. And now we're ready to take what we've learned in the past few months and apply it outwardly. Some feelings of limitation might ease up a little bit, especially internally. As for business owners, again, this goes all the way through summer, so it's a good energy to work on projects, create things, get some forward movement in your business. It's very kind of a broad thing, but it's a long transit. I'm not going to tell you to do specific things. Then we have a full moon in Taurus. All right, this is an interesting full moon because the moon itself is 1 degree away from Uranus. And Uranus is all about moving forward, progression, the future, liberation, and all through unexpected and sudden change. So this moon is where I feel we're going to get something really surprising happening. And with it being in Taurus, I feel like it's going to revolve around our money mindsets and our definitions of stability and comfort. Uranus has been transiting the sign of Taurus since 2018, so it's already been disrupting our relationship with money and material goods. Now, this full moon comes in and it brings in a very personal and emotional attachment to those things where we can look inward and ask ourselves, what are our individual relationships rather than on a societal level with these things? Now, this is the last full moon in Taurus while Uranus is there, and they're happening literally 1 degree away. So I do feel like this is going to be a really emotional and personal full moon in terms of looking at our approach to comfort. Taurus is the fixed earth sign, meaning that fixed signs can get pretty stubborn. They're fixed in their spot. They're really comfortable right here in the middle, doing things, chugging along. So it's really about asking ourselves, what have we been gripping onto that we need to let go and make space for these bigger changes coming up in the next few years? As for business owners, same goes. Reassess your relationship with money and comfort and look at how those things play into your business strategies and ask yourself what needs to change for your sustainability. Then on Saturday, September 16th, we have the sun opposite Uranus, which gives a very similar energy to the full moon connecting with Uranus, except this is more of a conversation of tension. It's going to really shine light on the things that need to change if the full moon hasn't done that already. There's another, a continued energy for unexpected changes, especially ones that bring frustration. However, those unexpected changes are going to put our minds in a different space to be thinking of different solutions we otherwise wouldn't have come across if we weren't in those certain situations. So it might be kind of icky. In the end, you could be like, you know what? I'm glad that happened because I learned this, this, and that. If you can build flexibility into your weekend and your normal routine might just feel pretty boring. So try to change it up a little bit, do something new, follow the flow a little bit and see what comes up. Don't be so rigid. As for business owners, again, it's another energy on top of a couple this week that aren't really great for launching or doing something where you need to have control over the outcome. I mean, I guess we never really have full control, but you know what I'm saying. If you need things to go a certain way, try to do it on a different day, or if you really already have committed to doing it this day, just triple check those communications, triple check the settings so that you can make sure it's going to go the way that you're hoping it does. All right, so that's it for this week. I hope you guys can make the most of this week. I know there's a lot of unexpectedness and uncertainty, which we've already been wallowing in since the elections. So do what you can to kind of just be flexible and let things settle in. And as for my take on what has happened, I'm filming this on Wednesday, November 6th. I'm still processing what has happened today. I was living in my little Pisces delusional world and I didn't even think this would happen. I know that's stupid of me, but I just didn't even go there because I really had faith, blind faith, I guess. So I'm just really adjusting to understanding where this country's at and where the people of this country are at. And I don't have any astrological advice at this point. I feel like I'm way too wrapped up in my own emotions to be giving any sort of detached or unbiased insight. So that's where I'm going to leave it for now. I hope you guys are processing. I hope you guys are taking care of yourselves and being kind to yourself and being kind to the people around you. All right, that's it. Stay hella fluid, y'all. Damn. Love you.